You are now listening to a new episode of Man, Shut Up. I am Wally World. Check this out. Season 3, episode 11. We have some guests this evening. I want to first introduce them to have a seat. Have a seat? Okay. Didn't mean to be rude, but you was like in the way. Sorry. The title of this one is I versus I squared. Yeah, we not even going to say that title 1,000 times. We just had a good conversation. You could tell that I just came from enjoying a birthday, so it doesn't sound like such, but there's a lot of things that I kind of got wrapped around my head. But as we were sitting here just minding our business again, I see that whenever I did this the last time with All Dogs Go to Heaven, is that what I called it? Yeah, All Dogs Go to Heaven, so some of you guys remember that. So it took them a minute, I guess, to wipe their wounds off. And then we have the ladies to come back. We have Takita, which is my dog Mika. That's a little sis. And the question was, while men were talking, of course, she had a question. And the question was, what's the big deal of women being independent? That's what she asked. And she said that because we men hate that women are independent, because that means that we don't have to settle for less.
Come on now, dog. Come on.
Are you listening? Can you hear me? Okay, I see your thumb up. Listen, I'm going to go ahead because, again, like I said, the mood is not with that much aggression. I'm going to just get straight to the point and get straight to it. Listen, and I want you to listen to me clear. I think I speak for all men where we say we do not give a damn if a woman is independent. We have never treated that as being an issue. Okay? Now I'm going to break down some true facts, and I guarantee you this can spread from here to the east side or west side of the Mississippi line, all the way down to Hawaii, and I promise you that it's still going to remain. Men have no problem of women being independent. As a matter of fact, sometimes they love it so much that they don't even have to do anything, because you're going to make sure that you get it done regardless. And so that's why some of y'all baby daddies don't give a damn about coming back and don't care about looking back for the kids or anything, and just politely pass the kids off to you, because your independence of no matter what is going to get done, it gives them the responsibility. Are we here? Okay, good. I want to make sure I got your attention, because you was very aggressive about, and like I just had a big thing about it. So that means you probably have caught up. So these other ladies and other people probably have caught up as well. But everything that I say has facts and substance. It's not nothing that used to be Kevin Samuels or any of that type of, I don't want to say names, but I'm not the type. I'm going to give you my proof. Independent. From your lowest tier Negro to your highest tier man, never had a problem with independent. The problem is I don't think that the problem with that most men that I can imagine and I've seen and witnessed, even now to myself, is that when are you going to turn the switch on to interdependent? Okay, being independent, majority of the time, it's been glorified. You even just did that, saying that your degrees that I always mention on here. I guess that might have triggered you, and the salary that you make and all those things. It's great. That doesn't give any care for a man at all because you said those things. It's just like when a lady says, I don't give a damn because you have a 2022 car sitting on 26s. Make sense? So because he has a 2022 on 26s, he's supposed to have you wanting to basically fuck his car. Is that a true statement? Or does that even matter? Doesn't. It doesn't matter for the guy neither. The independent is what makes you want to put all your accolades up on the wall. You could put that in your powder room, or you could put that somewhere where the kids can be inspired. But when it comes to a grown man, trust and believe that he's already identified and observed you to know that you were independent. Okay? Now, whenever it's independent, that means you went into now your your career path, and a lot of your career path is stressful shit, right? That means the more money to make, the more problems you get, the more responsibility that come a part of that, correct? More times you don't have no time left. Second thing is that when you finally come home, you turn still into the same person you were at work, correct? Okay, let me know when that had anything to do with your relationship at home. Now, I did hear you say, oh, well, you know, we don't want to be that, then how about you turn the shit off? It's very easy. If I don't want the light to be on, I turn it off. Quit giving these moving the goalposts. Anybody that want to hear this, quit moving the goalposts. That's like a dude saying, I won't get taken serious until I take that 2022 on 26s around the city so it can be seen. But no, that's not the case. You're not gonna do that to go fuck around and put this car in front of Keisha's house as an excuse as to what makes you feel more superior. That doesn't even make sense, does it? It's about you internally, right? So if you don't want something to happen, and you obviously know that Keisha is definitely all into this car to want to give you some draws, I guarantee you will ban him from taking that car over there, right? It's the same thing with you. If you want things not to be that way, then how about you just turn it off or remove it from the situation? How hard is that? More times than not, a lot of the things that's come with the world as far as truth and reality and logic, you learn from a man anyway. Your father, your brothers, your cousins. A lot of your emotional issues and a lot of your disdainment most times come from the feminine part of your lifestyle, which is your mother, your sister, your aunties, and your grandmother. Rather, if that is the life that they've lived, that you are afraid to go back through, or the things they told you out of anger, out of resentment. More times than not, you've never heard any man in your lifetime have resentment so bad that they tell you to get away from it. If anything, you hear dudes always talking about what they learned. So again, it's about, so when we're talking about learning, that makes you more independent, right? Knowing what you're supposed to do, knowing how to be able to see things in life, knowing how to be able to handle things is what we do, because in our life, walking out the door, sweetheart, while you're being independent, we have to be independent too. We have to be independent to where can't nobody just walk over us, can't nobody out hustle us, can't nobody outshine us, can't nobody outbid us, and can't nobody out protect us when it comes to y'all and our children. Now, I'm not going to go into full detail because at the same time, a lot of confidence comes because you know you have certain things on your side. So I know why you're sitting beside your homegirl, and I did hear that conversation the last go round that I waited on this moment to do. The same way that she said, oh yeah, go ahead and say something I wish you would. You'll never see your kids again. Oh yeah, and yeah, I'm gonna call the cops on you because you already have a probation violation. Again, that had nothing to do with independence, but she's giving you a high five talking about independent. What independence is that? It seems like that's some form of being a slave. Knowing that the fact that I can't even give my opinion without my voice being with some form of male aggression, that now all of a sudden here comes the cops being called for something that had nothing to do with this situation. My children now I not be able to see this under your discretion, all because you disagree with me. Now find out where independent is. The same independent that whenever you fall through the cracks, because I did we're not going to tell the situation, but when you fell through the cracks with your daughter and children, you then turned around on the social media that I did see and say, well, if the man was here to be able to handle this, then I wouldn't have that problem. So you don't get to move that goalpost neither, sis. Yeah, don't remember you're independent. So independent means isolation. Isolation means you can do this all on your own. When a country wants to be independent, they don't want no resources from nobody else. So now my question to you is, are you truly being independent, or are you truly just happy of your accomplishments over your counterparts? That you now don't understand that there's a certain other type of emotional position and role that you can now take your cape off, and you can take your shoulder pads off, but are you even willing to do so? Now, I didn't even go too deep because I want to even go even deeper, but I just wanted to take the time for people to think about that. So now we are battling between independent versus interdependent. Interdependent understands that I have a position and it's never going to be flawed or stepped on, but in order for it to work, then my other part has to work as well. This is what makes both parties feel like they are important to one common goal. A lot of times we get that fluff because we see a couple more dollars, or because we got this business all of a sudden, or we're just trying to have this big ass idea, that we forget that magic doesn't happen until the two people in the house are happy. The same way that we have to go by the happy wife, happy life mentality. I've never heard happy husband, happy house, or I haven't heard anything of that nature, and you never will. I never said protected wife, protected life. I said happy. I'll see it. I versus I squared. The things that I'm saying are just honesty. These are things that for some people, their mothers haven't told them, nor their fathers. And I feel sorry for that. As you can tell by my tone, I'm really not in that mood to even be in the point of making a joke behind this. I want it to be to the point where, again, it's still cute, so let you know what men feel. It's not every man. Like I told you, down to your fuck baby daddy that don't come back and check the kids because he knew how independent your ass was. And you would never ask him for a dime. You never put the fuel to the fire, and at one point or another, your independence, you had none, because now you all of a sudden get the liquid courage to get some after he leaves. Is that scorn or bitterness, or is that you had already inside of you? Because if you already had it inside of you, that would have been going while you was with him before the children and even after. So something must have clicked, the switch must have flipped back on, because now you realize you own your own, doing it on your own. I think that's called reality. So now you walk around here now with the mentality of strength that's actually being a callous to a weakness. Men never had a problem with a woman being independent. And half the time I just say interdependent, and some chicks just went to the dictionary. Oh, that's a word? That's absolutely a word. Right next to each other almost. Something that was failed to miss. But the thing is, the reality, because for everything that we do, there's always a result. And then the result is all this independence, and everybody still is single, searching for the same person to love them. And the question is, are you want somebody to put up with what you have going on to be just a side counterpiece? Or are you actually having somebody to actually be a piece to a sculpture on the wall that's worth millions? And that's the question, that's a gem for your ass. Because ain't no man ever leaving a woman who has that in a balance. The person who gets left is the one who looks back and say, I do everything, I cook, clean, this, that, and the third. I can do it. But then when they're in a situation or a relationship, they sit there and say, I'll choose when I want to do it now. Oh, okay. Seems like that's lesser end of the stick for a sake of independence. Don't you agree? You ask a dude what he want, half the time he just say he want peace. And most of the time he wants peace with you, and you don't even have to have a dime, don't have to have nothing on the wall. That's the reason why you can go back and say these hoes are winning, because these hoes are doing minor shit to get men attention. And most times than not, it has nothing to do with sex. Majority of the time, just having him to understand how important he is to her. No, and so instead you will let these diplomas and let everything else and these name badges make you feel important. That's only to the company, not to the man, because the man don't give a damn about your name, because he knew he called you bae anyway. He don't call you by that professional name that they have to call you by. He never asked you to set up any meetings. He never asked you to go travel from one place to another. He never asked you to go and link up with other people and network, because guess what? The only network person he wants to be around is you. And I ain't never seen no man, no matter what, he's never ever truly left a child. What happened is, due to the circumstances of the child having to be around the mother 100%, and in some cases ladies have that obligation to be able to let him see him whenever she feels like it, it ends up staining. Shit. It ends up staining co-parenting. We're not gonna sit here anymore and be acting like it's just we just have an issue with you guys so bad. And even on this platform that you said that I have an issue with ladies, and it seems like such, if ain't no woman on here have heard me say how strong, how great you are, and how much y'all are needed, loved, protected, and the best things on this planet. If only you would realize that, then I don't know what you're listening to. I think you're listening to my stuff off of being scorned yourself. I versus I squared though. Ain't no man ever want no lazy bit. Ain't no man want no woman who don't just do nothing. Nothing goal oriented. Who? Where? And those guys are the only ones that wants to control everything, which means those are the ones that, you know, that people think that it's supposed to be, where you can still be this way and then still receive that, but then don't understand in that household, that man controls everything, to even down to the shit she can say. Because at the end of the day, if that man was that part of it and didn't want to have you a part of it and want to control everything, why do I need you to say some shit? Did anybody ever think about that? Did you think about that? If I was doing everything and paying all of your bills, doing everything, and all you gotta do is just sit back and just focus on whatever you was doing, and that's all you have to focus on, what is the point of you being around me? You can go do that in your own place while I do it in my own place. But when you bring it together, that means that you have to intertwine, you have to make a melting pot, which means it comes with those words of sacrifice, understanding, communication. That's why those things are so important. Being able to have your best friend beside you, and I know what that girl right there, yeah, you being the best friend of her, I guarantee you there's a lot of compromise y'all do, even though y'all are independent. Because while you're together, you are interdependent in order to even have a conversation to rock, or for you to even hang out to go to be together for a vacation or anything. Because I guarantee you the most person who probably upsets you, either on the low or out loud, is the probably person beside you, which is your best bid. Because yes, we are the same men that have to hear that what your best bid did in the first place to piss you off when you ain't have the balls to even tell her in front of your face. Oh, we good? I mean, you're not talking to a dumb dude here. I make it all make sense, and I'm not blaming you guys for being independent. Matter of fact, a real man loves an independent woman, but then whenever it's time to take those pumps off, allow it to be. This is why I always go back to say, if you never allow a man to show what he is, and always want to critique him, and always want to chastise him, and always want to make it like you're back in the corporate world, then he's gonna be like a disgruntled worker. And everybody knows that when you get a worker that is disgruntled, more times than not, it's probably the best worker you have. So don't be afraid whenever he gets a pay increase from somewhere else. And I'll let you put the two and two together with that. Don't ever get upset when he wants to go find another job. It may not be because the job, it might be because of the people in the job. Do you understand what I'm going? Due to the fact that men have no problem working with, for the most part, then we already understand the concepts of this. We understand that our supervisors are supposed to be the most independent to know what's going on around the whole company or around the whole shift. And guess what? Half of us are teaching our supervisors what to do and not to do, and training other people in the process. So it seems to me that we don't have an issue of being able to open ourselves up to get somebody else to learn that could potentially take our jobs. And by the way, since you mentioned that you're making more money than us, which was a very hurtful thing if you were a sensitive man, then guess what? Ask yourself, why are we not getting these positions? Because I see the same black men going into colleges just like you. Oh, you thinking I got a high scholar to think? And they ain't even have to make you pay $40,000 a year for it, huh? Yeah, I respect Georgetown though. Shout out to the boys. This is where AI went to. But at the same time, I ain't even asked you for $1, and I'm got you over here pondering. Why? Because one thing that we learn as men is that life experiences would make us have wisdom. And everything ain't structured from a damn book or a curriculum. Okay. Or or a syllabus. Good joke, Q. Or that syllabus they get at the beginning of classes where they give you that thick ass paper telling you what you're gonna go through next. Some things are just going through trial and error, but due to the fact that we gotta be micromanaged, then guess what? We can't even go through trial and error to fall on our face to find out if it really hurts or not. To be able to pass it to our young, to be able to show our lady to protect her so she won't have to go through that neither. Because remember, you're independent, so you already got it, even though you've never been halfway close to what maybe your counterpart has been through. But you want us to be able to now realize when you're trying to be interdependent and independent when it all seems the same to us. And I'm not here to debate. I really wasn't. So you done messed up the whole, again, you did it again. I answered your question when all dogs go to heaven, and here I am again. I have no problem of coming to the forefront and being the voice of anything. Nobody even have to see you, but they know your question. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. And by the way, since we're sitting here now, how many people here? 1, Q, U, G, me, you. What's your name, sweetheart? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want you right now, and I already kind of have an imaginary mind of it, but I want you to raise your hand. Hey, everybody in here. I know you guys can't see this, and I'm not even gonna cap. How many of y'all had your fathers, your original fathers in your home? Crazy. Mika, you the only one. You the only one. Oh no, that was G. Okay, I can't see over the father. G, you're the only one. So out of 6 people, we have 1. How many mothers was in the house? All our hands instantly get raised. So now let's rewind and use logic here. So everybody had a mother. So that means the males had mothers while the ladies had no father in the house. Where did you learn anything at? How did you learn to think about or feel or be able to be empathetic to the opposite sex? Don't say your little brother, because you was teaching your little brother things that you already had learned. Give me something. This is not even a scam. Give me something. I'm not a telemarketer. I'm talking to you, right? So why I'm not hearing you? Because at the end of the day, that's what I mean by reality. Sometimes this stuff that goes on in life has nothing to do with us as human beings, male or female. I'm not here to battle with males and females. I'm telling you that maybe, just maybe, that society and the way they implemented rules and regulations that I say that we all live by probably had it this way for a reason, which now turns into the psychological part of us to make us now have to divide, just like you doing in Congress. Maybe this whole thing is meant to be divided, but not from us. Maybe there was a plan already in place to keep people divided, as it's always been, from race to what you think political, to what you think financial, to what you think even to a household. And the only people that understand that is the other people that realize the same thing I just said. I'm not here to give you a nunny lollygag or any bush. Not. I'm tired of that now. That's why it's easier for ladies to fall in love with a dude who had to tell his wife that he's sorry on the same social media that he was sitting in cars cheating on her with. Derrick Jackson, we don't even see him no more. He must have got enough oohs and ahs from you to say that that's the type of man to ultimately no one apologized about it, but shared the hell out of his shit. How do you think that makes guys feel? Remember, y'all independent, so you don't have to tell us that you're sorry. A lot of times it's even hard for you to say you apologize, but you expect your man to apologize every time he fucks up. I can't make this up. Because we've already had a conversation in here where you say, oh, God, I don't want to tell you. You don't even want to feel like it. It just hurts you into your core to apologize. And most men understand that. It's hard to have their mothers to apologize to them. It's hard to have their sisters apologize to them. So they're used to not hearing the apologies. And I know I'm not the only one that feels like this, Q. I know. Okay, thank you. Thank you. That's all I got to say. Thank you for the okay. Q, hey, G, you a married man in here. How you feeling? Your wife right there. How you feeling? No, so I'm speaking the real, speaking the gospel. Good. It's not about that. I think people get it just so messed up. Because if that's the case, then if you're so independent, why do dudes constantly keep gravitating to you? But the question is, they gravitate to you because you can get a man right around the corner. We know that. But at the same time, what type of man you getting? Is it the same man you already seen before? Now it's not the man. Now it might be you and what you're willing to deal with. Which comes with now responsibility and accountability, that words that we know that you don't want to hear today. So if I keep buying a bad sack of marijuana, I keep getting a bad bottle of moonshine, and I keep constantly going back to buy it from the same type of people, then I'm the fool, correct? Okay. So it doesn't matter how much money I got in my pocket. So I can have $1 million and I'm still in that 2022 with the 26s, but I keep coming back with the same terrible weed. What are you gonna look at me as? But I'm independent, I got my money. I got the car. I drove over there. I was willing to buy it. Does that even fucking matter when the weed is bad? Okay. Just making sure we on the same accord. And to understand that's why I say it's important to lift both people up. Quit looking at the stature. Your high dollar Prada shoes mean nothing when you lay in the bed, take them off to the side and be alone. And loneliness makes nothing but monsters out of all of us. Sit in the room by yourself for 4 days. Forget your money, forget all of that. Sit in your room, you'll lose your own mind. It's called prison. A lot of us are in there too, by the way. So before we get to those moments of what bad is, how about we get to the moment of where we can keep constantly uplifting each other by what our standards are and what we have within us instead of what's been forced upon us. I don't never want a woman to be me. You can never be me if you tried. So I cannot be a woman. But what we can do is, how about I give you what a man can give and you allow it just as much as I have to allow you to be nurturing, loving, caring, sweet, kind, and all of those things. You can put your penis up now. And the men who can't understand that, you already have now divided, isolated, that word independent again. Make them independent out here in the world to find people that meet their standards. Quit giving me the crap of what my mama said. Cause I heard you say that earlier, but my mama showed me this book, but we all are sitting here now, and you have identified that mommy, the same mommy, is single than a fucking dollar bill. So there will be a time in your life where you will have to release them chains to be able to now teach your mother what the hell she could not teach you, correct? Because if your goal is to be able to have someone that still understands independent and interdependent must go together, your mother can't teach you that. I hope everything I said makes sense. It's never been a problem. We're gonna stop that. Because I know men who can handle and do the same things on their own just as much as you, but still no fool to say they don't need no woman. You ain't never heard that ever. No matter how sorry or how great the guy is. And more times than not, as I said from the last episode where you went to go dust your wounds off, I told you what ends up happening. The majority of the time, I started at the beginning of that, if I recall, by saying you think you know everything, when more times you may not, this go round. See that way it all comes back in a full circle? When we both take our shields down and we both stop comparing everything and just listen to what people feel, because again, this whole mental health matters movement did not come from men just wanting to scream out. It had to be a safe place from our beautiful women who said it was cool now to tell what we feel. And the day we've done it is the day now we're being gauged onto how much we can express ourselves, what's too much, what's too emotional, what's too this. But you can be emotional every day and still want to pull your dick out from time to time. Let me know where the fairness is. Maybe we need to get back to the drawing board. And so I'm going to come back to you as being a few years younger than me to say, stay you, but find that I too. Again, thank you guys for listening. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell while you're there. Comment, tell me know what you're feeling. If you have a business, music, and event, you know to hit me up. FlameGameTime84@gmail.com. Let's give them your flowers while you're living. You feel me? And again, Keita, you know I love you. You know that, right? Cool deal. Want to make sure that, because we ain't got no smoke. You already know. No matter we agree to disagree, which happens all the time in life amongst two people who have two different mindsets and goals and movements, does not mean that we still cannot walk together and learning things about each other to make it easier down the line. No matter what the circumstances are. Same thing with you, Q. Same thing with you, G. Same thing with you, Mika. Y'all already know we have disagreements. We don't like everything that we say to each other. We go through this all the time, but it's about the meeting at the common goal. It's about getting it done. But understand what people feel, because all of us as humans have feelings. Rather if they are expressed through a social media quickly or they suffered in silence. It's still a feeling that comes from the inside out. And you know, before I go, you know I gotta say it to all my people. Peace and love.